Currently I'm stood on a beach in southern Brittany. It's near a place called Begmel, and as you can see behind me, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful evening, not a cloud in the sky, and I'm on holiday. The family's here, well, they're actually back at the place we're staying at, but this place is only like 25 minutes or so away from where we're staying. So I just asked the wife if she minded if I come out, and she said no, that's fine, so just go. We've done what we want to during the day. We've sat on the beach twice and relaxed and slept, and the kids have played, so I'm having my playtime now, and I'm grateful my wife is gracious enough to let me out. So what am I doing here on this beach? Well, I'm all alone, there's nobody around, so I'm doing something I haven't done in nearly a year, which is a little bit of seascape photography. So I'll just show you what it is that I'm doing. Now, when it comes to seascape photography, one of the things you must do is look at the tide tables. Now, earlier on when we were relaxing on the beach, it was high tide, and that was around 4 o'clock. So I know at the moment that although I don't have access to the tide table for this area, I know the tide is going back out again. So I'm just taking advantage of that. Now here you can see quite a minimalist scene there. There's the rock there, and there's the waves crashing around the rock. Now what I've done here is I've got my tilt shift lens on, because I found that the majority of the times when I do seascapes, it's always just kind of this wide angle view, looking around and having some kind of foreground interest as well as looking at those waves. Now what I have noticed is those waves are coming in and then they're making a pattern on the rock there. So this is what I've done. If I just show you here on the back of my camera, you might be able to see there's a pattern that's been generated around the rock by those waves. So that's the kind of picture I was after. Now it would obviously be nice to have, you know, some amazing kind of cloud in the sky, but I don't mind. This is a holiday destination after all, so just having this nice, simple, serene scene is fine for me. I'm very happy to just be on holiday and just relaxing and taking my time. So we found this beach earlier on, and as I said, it's not that far from where we're staying, so I just came down here and thought I'd just do a little bit of minimalist seascape photography. As I said, I'm on a family holiday this week, so I might be able to vlog what it is that we're up to. So we're going to a few places this week in southern Brittany. So tomorrow, for example, we're going to a place called Concarneau. Then after that, another day, there's a place called Finistère, which looks really nice. It's like this a nice historic old quarter around the city with its cathedral and that, half-timbered houses. So maybe we can document what it is that we're going to do there, and just see if we can have a little bit of fun this week and just not be thinking too much about any work at all. It's the school holidays over here in France, and we've got that time off the next 2 weeks, so it's downtime. Well, let's just relax. I'm out again on the Brittany coastline, and dinner's been had. The family's back home watching TV, so I've snuck out and I'm doing some seascapes again. Now, we were here earlier on today as a family, and there's a lighthouse. It's about probably 10 seconds just that way, and I've come out and I'm going to do that in a minute as the sun definitely goes down over the horizon. It's not quite there yet. I can see I can just see the aura of the sun over the horizon there. Now behind me, as I said, there's a little cove here and these little rocks and stuff. I found it quite interesting earlier on, so I've set my camera up with a tilt shift lens, so I've got the plane of focus from the rocks in the foreground right out to the horizon at sea. It is a clear night. There was a lot of cloud earlier on. I was hoping for some nice dramatic sunset, but it's not to be. I don't really care. I'm on holiday, so I'll just explain what it is that I'm doing. This is the scene that I've got in front of me. You can see there's some blinkies going on there on the right hand side, but that's okay. So I found this little cove with all these little rocks here. It looks very much like the Cornish coastline, which is why they call this particular area of Brittany Little Cornwall. So I'm in pretty much my element. I love Cornwall, so coming here on holiday is just a dream come true, really. Now, as you can see on the front, if I just turn this around, you can see there's the tilt shift lens there, which is shifted quite actually far down. I just swing it around, and then there's also some front tilt going on there to bring the plane of focus from the horizon down to these rocks here. Now, tide is going out, which is a little frustrating, as it was swirling around the rocks which are down here, but that's okay. Otherwise, it's about a second and a half or so at the moment on the exposure. If I just turn live view back on there so you can see. Now, I don't really mind that because I don't want like a 4 or 5 second exposure, as I feel sometimes it's just too much on seascapes. So 2-3 seconds is fine with me. You get that misty water, but it's just not too much. So that's what I've got here on this particular scene. Now what I'm going to do from here is just over the horizon there, if I swing the camera around, there's a lighthouse that's just over there. So I'm going to go and see if I can get that lighthouse, which I was photographing in daylight, and see if I can get the nice setting sun and the colours, as there's a nice bit of just sloppy camera work. Just turn around there and you'll see there's some cirrus cloud going on. So I'm just going to break my stuff down and nip over to that lighthouse. I've come to the lighthouse at Trévignon, and the sun has dipped below the horizon about 5 minutes or so ago. The composition that I did find earlier on just doesn't really please me at this tide, at low tide, so I found something else that does please me. Took a little bit of searching to find something, but I found it. Although the bay is quite small, I am still a stickler for perfection and trying to find something that does please me. It's not the best, but for the time that I have and the family holiday that I'm on, it certainly will do. So I'll just turn the camera around and explain what it is that I've done on this particular scene at Trévignon. This is how I set up my camera at Trévignon. You can see there's the big rock there that I was talking about and the lighthouse in the background. There's also, if you look up in the sky, a nice bit of cloud coming along, which is adding a bit of interest up in the sky. There's a nice afterglow, although you probably can't really see it if I swing the camera around. That's where sunset is over there. The sun has gone down below the horizon about 5-10 minutes ago, but it's given me a nice afterglow here, and of course a nice long exposure on the water. So it's about 5 or 6 seconds that it's giving me. The sun is going a nice kind of, the sky is going a nice kind of orangey pink, which is quite nice with that cloud. And I'm getting something that's very pleasing, something I didn't anticipate getting at the end of today. So just going to get a few more shots. I'll just explain quickly on there. There's my Canon 6D, Canon 28-70 L lens, the Lee filters 0.9 hard grad, and the Heliopan polarizer to get rid of the reflections. Composition wise, I suppose it's a classic rule of thirds. You've got the rock there on 1/3, the lighthouse on another. Just tried to get rid of as many distractions as I could around here. I suppose that just does frustrate me a little bit. There's too much water there, but what can you do when you're on a holiday? You just enjoy what you've got. This evening I'm in the old city of Concarneau, and behind me you might be able to see the old walled city, which is called Villeclos. And we were here yesterday as a family, and when we were here yesterday morning, the water that's in the harbour here was actually quite low and you could see the harbour bed, but now the water's come in and I'm getting nice reflections as the sun is setting to the west over there, and it's looking absolutely gorgeous. Now I have got the shot that I'm after, so I should just explain on the back of my camera what it is that I've done this evening, and I'm very pleased to have actually got this, as I've had it in mind ever since we came here yesterday morning. Here's a rough idea of how I set up this shot here, looking at the old Villeclos of Concarneau. You can see the boats in the foreground there, as well as the walled city. I got my Canon 6D, and on the front is a Lee Filters 0.6 soft grad, as well as my Canon 24mm tilt shift and the 1.4 extender. The tilt shift is actually shifted down just a little bit, as what I wanted to do is I didn't want I got the horizon in the middle, but also the boats are actually on the bottom third there. So it's an interesting composition from my point of view. It certainly adds something to the normal just horizon in the middle. Now if I just swing the camera around, I'll show you the rest of the harbour. It's absolutely fantastic here this evening. Nice, still, cool and calm. This is the last entry for the vlog with regards to Brittany Finistère. I'm stood on La Pointe du Raz, which is basically the French version of Land's End. Just like Land's End, there's actually quite a lot of shops just before you actually get to this point. The difference between Land's End and here is there's actually a shuttle that will take you to the end, which is over that way. I've come up here because over there, you probably can't really see, there's a little chapel that's sat on the edge of the cliffs, which looks quite nice. And I'm wondering if I can get a shot. I don't think I can. I think it's probably a bit too far away and I don't have enough reach on my lens to get a really good shot of it. I may have to try further on up the path. I've got about half an hour or so to sunset. Sunset's not really anything spectacular this evening at all. It's actually quite covered with cloud at the moment. It does look a bit kind of I suppose dramatic a little bit, but there's no real colour at all in the sky. Can I do anything? We'll see. I'm going to move on to La Pointe du Raz, see if there's anything there. But behind me, as I said, you might be able to see the stunning coastline that is here. This is La Pointe du Raz. This is the end of mainland France and what is, I believe, to be the most westerly point in mainland France. The only thing that is frustrating, as you can see, is the weather is just not great. But it's moody enough to produce something, so I'm sure I'm going to come away with something from this shoot tonight. It is an amazing view here on this point, this westerly point of France. What else can I say? There's not a lot else that I can say, but what I am going to say is I'm going to sign off from now. And I'm just going to say thank you so much to all of you that have subscribed in the last week or so, all of you that have been here since the beginning, and everybody that keeps commenting. It's great to interact with people and people that are liking what it is that I do as a working travel and landscape photographer. So until next time, I shall see you soon.